Welcome everyone to the Tonkin Legal Group, your home of the Australian Family Law Podcast, the AFLP. Definitely not the official podcast of the Australian Football League. It's your host once again, Joe, here in high spirits. Let's just say I'm a very happy Bomber fan today, and before we're gonna depart from normalcy. We're gonna go straight to you, St. John, first. How are you, St. John? Hopefully you had a nice weekend.
Very well, thank you, Joe. Yes, had a lovely weekend. Apart from my beloved Tigers going down again, but gather round I thought it is a great idea, and it's good to watch games where there are a myriad of different fans in the crowd. You know, wearing different colours. They're not all there for just two teams. It was a great bit like Charlie today, who's wearing colours of a different club. Hang on, what's going on here? There's a Melbourne board up the back, and you're wearing the Dons gear.
Yeah, look, I've only got myself to blame for this. Last week, after the D's on the back of a great win against the Gold Coast, got a little bit ahead of myself, as we know.
The lid was off, wasn't it?
The lid was off. I think the words top four might have come out of my mouth at some point. And then Joe's mob have brought us right back to reality. So I put a wager on the line with Joe. So the loser of our team had to wear the opposition apparel, which Joe's kindly brought in. I think this is your Anzac Day. Is it your Anzac Day game jersey this year?
Correct. Correct. So this is fresh. It's mint condition.
It is. So I'm staining it. Never been worn. Who would have thought it? A D's fan would be the first to wear it. But no, I deserve it. And the Bombers deserve the win. You absolutely thrashed us. So credit to the Bombers.
Yeah, congratulations, Joe. Bombers looked like every bit of a finals team on the weekend.
I forgot what it felt like to celebrate a win. I had this giddy smile on my face as if I'd fallen in love for the first time. It was remarkable how a team full of 23 strangers to me who don't know of my existence can make me feel such. Look at this. Who's this? Brad Scott.
Led by the leader. The leader.
2 meter Peter. Look, we're all going to die one day. We're all going to die someday. But at least, if it's at some point this week, I'll be a happy person going away. So, but we'll have today's podcast, as you guys could tell from the title, from the thumbnail, it's all about being able to fund, how you're going to fund your family law litigation. You're in court. You've got a lot of bills, a lot of fees. We all know that paying for a lawyer isn't cheap, but it's as worth it as it is. It certainly can be very expensive, and a lot of people might not be in a situation that can do it. And we sort of got this idea because your boys, St. John, the Tigers, came out last week with some pretty big news for a very big, high-profile player.
I'm excited, Joe. I'm terribly excited. Zak Butters, 8 years. He's only 25, so that'll take him through to his peak at 33. We'll sign him again for another 8 years. They'll all be playing till they're 50 in those days. For a cool 16 mil. Now, I understand he has a farm in a place called Darley, which I had to look up on the map today. It's between Geelong and Gisborne, which gives you a fairly wide range, but out past Sunbury. So it's 59 kilometres from Punt Road, and it's a short 48-minute drive. He can just whack it on cruise control, and he'll be there in a jiffy. Especially when this never-ending road by the Labor Party is finished. Having said that, we would love to have Mr. Butters, but we certainly we can afford it at the moment. But unlike a lot of our family law clients, family law experiences and perhaps going to court as well can be quite expensive. And it's nice to know that we're linked with a firm called JustFund, and I think we have a special guest from JustFund coming up. JustFund are a litigation funder who, where possible, they will fund your family law matter, so that we issue monthly invoices, they pay our invoice, and you pay JustFund back at the end of the matter. Of course, there's an interest rate involved, but it's a competitive rate, certainly better than taking out a personal loan or a credit card.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we've had a lot of clients that have definitely taken advantage of the services of JustFund. I mean, it really just helps with ongoing cash flow as well. I mean, dealing with family law matters like Joe, what you flagged earlier, it's not cheap, especially if matters are dragged into court. So yeah, having a litigation funder available to assist with ongoing legal fees is very valuable for clients.
And just to explain, a litigation fund, litigation means court, funding means funding, obviously. So, but JustFund will fund matters that aren't in court. They'll pay valuers' fees, they'll pay a business valuer fee, those sort of things, and you repay them when you receive your property settlement at the end of the matter. So, it takes away that angst about, well, where am I going to find my legal fees?
Yeah, because as we know, family law was commonly known as an own cost jurisdiction. It's very different to what you've got, for example, from a criminal perspective. You might have heard that no win, no fee sort of slogan being bartered around. It's unfortunately not the case in family law because each party is responsible for bearing their own costs. There might be some instances where you obviously can threaten maybe trying to get some of your costs paid by the other party, but that's really only if you go in the distance in a family law matter that ends up costing you a lot more than is certainly worth the hassle and fight for, because the longer you're in the court system, the more expensive it gets. And so as much as possible, our approach here is to really try and get you moving on to the next chapter of your life, onto greener pastures sooner rather than later, trying to take the most economic and sound approach to get you a finalization of your matter. And along the way, litigation funders, very much like JustFund, can certainly provide their services. And we're going to have Amanda from JustFund be a special guest today to talk a little bit about how their services work. And I mean, before that are on, I'm trying to find out what's happening with Zak Butters at the moment, because he's currently in the tribunal right now in his hearing, trying to fight back against the case against him for what he said to the umpire. The injustice.
And I think,
what do you think is going to happen with that one?
You had some recording earlier, didn't you, Joe? You could hear what the umpire was saying.
Yeah, that's right. So it seems like it's quite remarkable how the entire conversation.
I think we've lost
Joe's
Joe.
gone listening. Yeah, I did see, just while we try and regain Joe, I saw there was a picture that came out on social media. Zak Butters was arriving at Port Adelaide at the club today, and he was wearing a T-shirt with the word "listen" written on it. So I think that was a little barb that he's firing at the AFL already.
I thought he was just saying to the umpire, "Look, how much is Richmond going to pay me?"
Well, I think the Tigers might need to up their offer to pay for his ongoing legal fees as well.
Well, he's the most fined player in AFL history. Is that right? I could be wrong there. I think he's got about 50K worth of fines over his pretty short career.
Yeah. I think Cozzy Pickett might give him a run for his money.
True. I think we're madly trying to get Joe. We've got a gremlin in the system here. So, Joe, how many clients have you got that you're working with JustFund on at the moment?
I've got 2 at the moment with JustFund. So, I think 2 or 3. So yeah, they're. I guess they're running smoothly. It alleviates the client having to rely on, if they don't have their own funds available, it avoids the need to ask family or friends to provide that personal loan for them. So I think it's 2 or 3. How many have you got, St. John?
I've probably got about 3 at the moment. Yeah. So which I think it provides a good service to the client. JustFund are very approachable. They have an excellent website. We're one of their treasured partners, and there's some information about JustFund on our website as well. So when speaking to any family lawyer, ask them about whether or not JustFund is an option, and you can it can help you in terms of settling your family law matter without the I think that without the dark cloud of legal costs impacting on your day-to-day existence.
And I think it's important to note as well, JustFund can step in and help at any stage of a client's matter. So it doesn't necessarily need to be at the very starting point of their family law matter. It can be midway through, or if towards the end the client's struggling to pay their legal fees, JustFund can come in at a later point, particularly if the matter's going through the court system. I mean, St. John, we know how long court matters can take to progress and to finalise. So they can come in right at the end and help ease that burden.
And sometimes that does happen, doesn't it? A client might be able to fund the beginning of their matter, but they can't fund the ending of it or the conclusion of it. And as you say, that's where JustFund can come in and assist.
So yes, as you guys can see, we have brought on the special guest who we had mentioned earlier in the podcast. We have been singing the praises of JustFund. We have Amanda Kerdel. Thank you so much for joining us today, Amanda.
No, thank you for having me. And Tonkin Legal Group are one of my favourite firms, if I can say that. So very excited to be here.
Good on you. Thanks, Amanda. And welcome to our podcast, our humble little podcast. Can you tell us anything about any news from JustFund? Anything hot off the press?
Yeah, well, as you're aware, we've recently introduced estate funding, so that's very exciting. We launched in 2022, and we've been running family law matters since then. Now we launched estate funding in the latter half of last year. So it's really exciting because it's kind of similar to family law in the sense of people are grieving. And it's a really emotional time. And that's kind of the area of law we wanted to branch off into, because a lot of our values and the way we operate tie into an area of law that's similar to family law. So we've had quite a few applications already in the estate funding space, which is very, very exciting. Yeah. And it varies really from executors to beneficiaries applying, and also claimants as well. So a variety of applications coming through.
Well, one thing I like about JustFund, Amanda, is your usability. Just your functionality. Everything seems quite seamless and streamlined. I know from my clients' perspectives that it's quite easy to get on board and quite easy to understand the product. So I take my hat off to you guys in that respect. It's an easy thing to engage with.
That's really good to hear, also because we spend so much time making sure it's a really nice client experience as well as lawyer experience as well. And we're going to actually be introducing a portal, a lawyer portal, to make life a lot easier as well. Yeah, for when applications do come through. So you'll be able to see all the applications visually, and it's a really nice representation of, I suppose, also the impact that funding can have within a law firm as well.
I mean, it certainly helps with the cash flow of a law firm, but it also helps the cash flow for the client. Yeah,
absolutely. And with JustFund as well, the whole model is based around people living their lives as they should, especially with the stresses of going through separation, especially. And having to pay at the end. So that's how the model is built. And we've actually introduced also personal living support for clients, because a lot of our borrowers are women who are the primary caretakers of children. They don't have that sole income. So that's something we can help with as well. And yeah, that model definitely ties into assisting clients like that. That position, if they need help with rent, school fees, childcare fees, which are on the rise at the moment for sure, we're able to assist.
And I know that you're not an AFL fan as such, but could you help us, being the Richmond Football Club, with a $16 million loan to prize Zak Butters out of Port Adelaide? I'm joking.
What would you need? What
Oh,
would
no, you're
just
cutting
need
out.
for
I
that?
can't.
Yeah, what sort of security do you need for a 16-minute? No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
That's just one of the star players that we're trying to poach, my team, Richmond, and we're offering allegedly 8-year term for 16 million, so about $2 million a year.
Wow. Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
And
That's pretty good.
That's because we've got some money to spend, apparently. So,
A lot of money.
What would JustFund require? So if a client is about to go through their family law property settlement, for example, and they wanted to get some funding, what sort of information would they need to kickstart that off?
Yeah, that's a good question, Joe. So the client needs to be represented. So usually what happens in that situation is the client would apply, we would receive the application, and we'd get in contact with the lawyer working on the matter. Things like a balance sheet of all the assets and liabilities within the property pool. If you have a mortgage statement as well, within 6 months, that's really helpful. Property valuations as well, because on our end, what we'll do, our in-house family lawyers will make an assessment of what we think the client's legally entitled to. And similar to kind of the estate, our estate lawyers now, we have a team of estate lawyers, will determine how much is in the estate and how much a client is legally entitled to in that instance.
It's a very straightforward process.
It is, yeah. From a family law client's perspective, sorry, Amanda, is there anything that the client should be aware of which might prevent them from accessing funding at any point in their particular matter?
I think I always suggest to clients to apply where they're ever in doubt. I think we, generally speaking, so what our model prior to this point, we used to ask clients that they have a net property pool of at least 300,000, but we were actually getting quite a few declines based on that, and we really wanted to help clients with the smaller property pools. So now we just need to ensure that the legal entitlement of the client is at least 80,000, and then they're able to receive funding as well. And just probably a heads up that in some instances we will lodge a caveat on the property as well, especially where they're smaller property pools, just because the risk is a bit higher for us. But it's nice that we're able to open our offering to clients with receiving less from their property pool.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll have all those details in the description down below, guys. So we'll have the link, we'll have the to the JustFund application page where all that other information can be readily available to everyone who wants to have a look at it and learn more about it.
Amazing.
What I should say, Amanda, is I look like the odd man out today because Charlie's wearing footy gear, Joe's wearing footy gear, but the secret is there was a bit of a bet. Charlie's team was beaten by Joe's, so Charlie's wearing Joe's football team outfit. Yeah, the Bombers. So he's in purgatory wearing another man's team's colours, which must be a little bit itchy or scratchy for you, Charlie? Or...
Yeah, deeply humiliating as well. And kind of salt in the wounds. I was the one that actually proposed this bet with Joe, so I'm getting my just desserts after all this. Amanda, do you have a team, Fremantle or West Coast, or?
Eagles.
Eagles.
West Coast Eagles were the team I grew up on. But only because I liked the colours. That was really.
Somehow.
But that was really one of the reasons. But I've never really followed footy. People are really passionate about it. We have a few Geelong supporters at JustFund as well. We're very, very passionate about footy, which is nice. I've just never got into it, but. We're matching with white shirts as well, which we pre-planned, so
it's a nice balance in the four windows here. Yes,
it is, isn't it?
Amanda, sorry, Joe, you go on.
No, sorry, go for it, St. John.
I was just going to ask, in terms of the amount that clients generally loan from JustFund, what would be the average amount that, if you know this information off the top of your head, that would people would be asking for in terms of their property settlements?
That's another really good question. It really varies. It varies. So our minimum financing amount is $5,000. So it can range from 5,000 to 1 million, for example, even higher than 1 million in some cases, as long as the property pool allows for it. Because there's no cap on how much funding we can provide, as long as we can see and we're being diligent with what is in that property pool. We never want the client to be left with nothing at the end of their settlement, or very little. So how much we offer in terms of funding is 25% as well of what we think the client's legally entitled to make sure we don't ever go above that. But it really varies. There's no kind of middle point, which is good, as an offering.
I didn't actually know that the minimum was 5,000. Because that sometimes can be the difference between you've got an agreement but you need to formalise it. $5,000 might do that and get you across the final hurdle.
That's right.
And the clients have full visibility over how much they've spent to date at any point in time, or will that be on the portal that's coming out?
Yeah, we do. So we send monthly account statements out to the clients, and I think that's really important because from a psychological perspective, they can see how much they've drawn down, and it's not kind of we're paying it later type of thing. I think that's really good visually. But so the portal will have kind of a client facing portal as well as a lawyer portal, so the client will be able to see that. And we want to try and make it as visually pleasing as possible as well. So we want to make it very easy for the client to navigate. Obviously some clients, especially less tech savvy and older clients, won't be able to use things like the portal, and we'll just continue to exist as we are, which is trying to be as responsible as possible over the phone and email for clients in that space.
Great.
Wonderful. Well, Amanda, we've taken a lot of your time. Thank you so much for joining us today on the AFLP. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure a lot of people out there who were a little bit concerned and worried about how they're going to go about funding their family law matter can certainly feel, I suppose, a lot more reassured and confident that there are avenues for them, and they can get their just funds and representation as well, so that they can settle. I know that I'm embarrassed from.
That was pretty awful.
No, I'm going to use it. I think I should call it. Our next webinar should be called that for sure.
Oh, excellent. And we're going to save Charlie. We're going to save Charlie from this. I think he's been wearing Don's gear for long enough. So if you guys, he's sweating. If you enjoyed what you had to see, if you enjoyed what you had to see or hear from this episode today, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure you rate us 5 stars on Spotify. And like I said before, all the details for JustFund will be in the description down below. Charlie, St. John, Amanda, thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you.
We'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.